So my husband and I have been budgeting for 5 years, ever since we've been married. Some things haven't changed in our budget in that time period. Like, we still donate to our church and to charity. We still have to pay for heating oil and, eat. But today I wanted to go through my old budget and just take a look at what we used to spend money on 5 years ago and see what we've been able to cut from our budget and save more money now than we used to. So you might have noticed from the title that today's video is actually a collab. It's my first channel collab. I'm so honored. It's going to be with the Money Mom. She's doing a video on the exact same topic. So after you finish watching this video, you can go hop over to her channel and she's got a video where she talks about all the things that they have cut from their budget and don't even miss. So you want to check that out so you can think of even more things you can cut from your budget if you're trying to trim the fat. We've been using EveryDollar, which is a budgeting app that automatically inputs every transaction from your bank into the app, and you just have to track it. It is a game changer. And one of the things I love most is it has saved every budget we've done, a unique budget every month for the last 5 years. So I can just go back and look and see what we spent money on and then tell you about it. Oh, here's a good one. All right, so I'm gonna call this things I bought to prop up my identity. I'm not talking flashy cars or designer handbags. In my case, it was just secondhand books. I'm not talking about things that cost a lot of money, but it was things that I was only buying because I thought of myself, or I wanted to think of myself as an educated person, an intellectual person, and intellectual people buy books. So I bought lots of books. It wasn't even I wanted people to see my books and have them think I was cultured and educated. It was a very internal thing. I wanted to feel smart. And so I bought books to prop up that part of my identity. And I never read half of the things I bought. Today I gave away a bunch of books to a friend. Secondhand books don't have great resale value, so that was basically just money wasted. So if you're thinking through your budget and you're looking to see, okay, where can I save money? Ask yourself, am I buying this because I need it or because I just think that I'm the kind of person who's supposed to buy these things? It's worth asking. All right, so the very first budget we did was July, so it's exactly 5 years ago this month of 2018. I put in $1.91 of pennies because we were trying to pay off debt. If you've never seen that video, I'll link up with the card at the top. We were trying to pay off our debt, and so we were finding any amount of cash we could to throw at the debt, and apparently that included $1.91 of pennies, and I'm so glad I don't have that part of my budget anymore. Yes, okay, I'll talk about this. All right, I think I also mentioned this in that video, but it's worth mentioning again because it's so important. Gas station snacks. I bought them constantly when I was this young professional. I don't think I ever spent more than $3, maybe $5 at a time, so it never felt like this big hit to my budget, and it just kind of floated away from my memory. I didn't pay attention to how often I was doing it, so that math wasn't adding up in my head. But if you had told me, hey Hillary, I want you to spend $50, $100 on insert stupid thing here, I would have been like, no, what are you crazy? That's too much money. Hillary, spent it on gas station snacks. It was just mindless spending on stuff that didn't even make me feel that good. I would be like, oh yeah, brownie. They're gas station snacks. They're not as good as you think they're gonna be. So you're just wasting the money. So we don't do gas station snacks anymore, which is great. Here's another one. Pre-made baby food, the little containers or the jars. First time parents don't know what they're doing. Those are expensive, yo. Pumpkin. It's pureed pumpkin in a can. And you don't have to do any of the blending. It just comes like that, and it's perfect baby food. And this is probably what? $1.50, maybe $2 for all of this stuff, as opposed to a little thing of baby food. If you've got babies, the little things add up, right? Yep, subscriptions like Netflix, Pandora. We've definitely started adopting the, you guys familiar with Frugal Fit Mom? She talks about subscription swapping. So instead of having 5 different subscriptions to streaming services you're paying for at the same time, you pay for Netflix and watch whatever you want on Netflix for a month or two, and then say, all right, I'm gonna switch. And then you pick a new streaming service and you pay for that one. I would suggest, if you're gonna do that, to have Amazon Prime be your service around November, December, so that way you also get free shipping for Christmas presents if you're gonna go that route. Okay, this one might make some of you mad at me, but I don't hate animals, I swear. I do like them most of the time, but we no longer have a cat. And that does save us a decent bit of money every month. We had a very sweet kitty named Hazelnut. I liked her a lot. My husband's allergies did not like Hazelnut as much. Luckily, we found a very sweet family member who was looking for a cat themselves, and we very happily passed Hazelnut on to her new life with a new kitty family. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. That's so weird. I don't know what it was back a couple years ago, but I actually had a line item in my budget for multiple months for just printing photos. I have discovered that if I ever have a desire to print photos, I like pick the ones I'm interested in printing, put them in a special folder and wait. Because I think I've talked about this before, but not sponsored or anything, but we have T-Mobile as our cell phone provider, and they have an app called T-Mobile Tuesdays, and every Tuesday they give you free stuff. And for whatever reason, frequently they have had Walgreens Photo Center giving you 10 free prints of a 4x6. And I'm like, okay. And whenever I see that, that is when I print my photos and I don't have a line item anymore. This one is pretty obvious, but one of the other things I am so happy is not in our budget anymore is debt. So we don't have car payments, we don't have credit card payments, we don't have student loan payments. And we worked really hard to get rid of those. It wasn't just like daddy swiped his credit card and it all disappeared for us. It's like, no, we worked really hard to get rid of that by using a lot of the strategies on this channel. Yeah, I am super duper happy that none of those are in my budget. Okay, yeah, I should talk about that. I mean, one of the greatest blessings that has come from no longer having debt is me being able to stay home with my kids. So that means two things are gone from the budget, right? Like the daycare expenses that we had to pay are no longer there, but also the second income that we had is no longer there. But I've done the math recently, and like if I went back to work and tried to pay for daycare for all three of my kids, based on what I could make as a teacher, if I went back to work right now, I would make somewhere between $11 an hour as a teacher with a bachelor's degree, or negative $22 an hour if I went back to work. So I am very grateful that that was the whole point for us of getting out of debt, was we wanted to be able to have me come home, but we couldn't financially do it until the debt was gone. So our monthly expenses were small enough that my husband's income could totally cover everything. And it's been such a gift, and I'm so grateful that I get this chance to spend all day with them, even if sometimes they drive me crazy. You know, I hear from a lot of women who are older than me who don't have the little itty bitty babies anymore, and they tell me that, you know, staying at home with their kids was the best decision they ever made. And I recognize that there's a lot of people who are still struggling to afford what's kind of considered a luxury in many ways nowadays. And it's just not possible if you're like a middle income family with debt to have one parent stay home. So I'm really grateful that we worked so hard to make that happen, and now I am home. I would be super interested to know what you have cut from your budget that you don't even miss. That way everyone can go down to the comments after you've watched, and we can all learn from each other and think of even more things to cut from our budgets so we can spend money on the things that really, really matter to us. So go over to Dawn's channel and check out what the Money Mom has to say about what she cut from her budget and doesn't even miss. Bye, YouTube.